Hello, everybody.
Ew.
I think there may have been a slight technical difficulty there. Perhaps even a lag.
I think I have a lag built into it.
Oh, okay. So, shall we get this thing fired up and ready to go?
I think so. Ew.
Heyo, everybody. How we doing today?
Peekaboo.
I think I'll be your host, AC, and my cohort.
I am Corey. Korai. Coey. Corey Man. Coco.
Oh, man, what's some throwbacks there?
Cornado.
Cornato.
Yeah.
Any relation to Sharknado?
Cornelius.
Corny.
Corn Puff.
I like where this is going.
Sweet corn.
Cream corn.
Corn Man. It goes on.
It probably could continue for at least another hour and a half. Yeah, Cordero. Now there you go.
That's a throwback too.
Whoa.
Wow.
That swing arm just tried to take you out.
Yeah.
Just gotta fiddle with it underneath. Itchy spider bite?
Yeah. Well, this is fun. All right. So what are we doing today? What's today? Is it the 13th?
Today is Friday the 13th.
Holy cow! Ooh, and boy, do I have something coming out later, and maybe next Friday. I'm trying to get it in today, but if it releases today, it'll be very fitting.
Which would be excellent.
Yeah.
Now we had a bit of a hiatus for the past week.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff going on, some technical difficulties, communicable issues, but we're live and on fire now.
Yeah, we're all here. But this brings me to my first order of business. I feel like we need to get some things on the table. I need to confront you, all right, man?
Oh shit.
I've been thinking back on things and things that bothered me in the past, and I just need to get it out there, man. You stole every one of my girlfriends. There was Catalina when we lived at the hotel. There was that night I could have got down with Khloe Kardashian, and you swooped in there. Do you remember Frog Arena? Frog Arena, you gave me the money to grab a pack of Cheyennes. I went down in that mystical man. In the funny hat, he said, if you give me this money, I'll give you a magical frog. And if I kiss that frog at midnight, it was supposed to turn into a princess. You took that frog, and you said, well, it was my money, it's my frog. And then you got mad at me because you got a what was it? It was toads give it to you if you handle them. And they pee on you and stuff. It never turned into a princess.
I believe what you're talking about was my 21st birthday, as I recall. There was some drinking involved.
That's what he always says. He's like, I don't remember.
If I don't remember correctly, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, weren't you high on acid?
Yes.
So let me ask you this.
Right.
Is it possible? Bear with me here.
I'm trying. I bear bears.
I bear arms. Like, I've got a pair of bear arms hanging in every room of my house.
That's sick. You're sick. You're a sick person. I don't think they're bear arms.
They're Winnie the Pooh bear arms.
That's sick. You're sick.
Anyway, before I was rudely interrupted.
Yeah.
Now, is it possible?
What do drugs and alcohol have to do with all the things, these very serious things that I said?
That you are mistaken, because what I recall is, yes, you said all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the purple couch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You remember, you was just in your Al Bundys, your whitey tighties, and
Yeah.
you looked at me with that drooled mouth, and
Yeah.
you said all those things.
Every
and
one
I,
of them.
I said, bro, I'm about to go puke, and then I'm gonna go to bed. Your fuck shit is crazy.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that part?
Yes. Yeah. I don't see
Okay.
how that affects anything I said.
Because it didn't happen. It was in your head.
You see, this is classic gaslighting. And I won't stand for it.
Well, you're sitting though.
Exactly. I won't stand for it.
Oh, okay, I see your point. It's a good point.
Yeah, I think so. I think these are all very good points that I've raised here. You know?
So then let me ask you this.
Ask away.
Is the proof, in fact, in the pudding?
It always is. And that pudding was laced with LSD.
But I didn't have any of that pudding.
It was for your birthday, and I ate it all.
I'm aware.
Because I was mad about the Khloe Kardashian party.
Why Chloe?
I think she has the most ambition. I think.
Really?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. I was just listening to what the man in the turban told me.
see, there were. I remember there being a guy wearing a hat there, but
Yeah. Or no, he could have been one of those black guys that got a little hot, so he put his T-shirt up over his head. Could have been one of those.
that makes more sense. I mean, if I
And the
if I
frog,
recall, this party
I
was.
think the LSD, it was a sheet, and it had the Honey Smacks frog on it. That may have been where I got confused.
I believe
Honey Smacks.
that makes sense. I mean,
Honey Smacks, and he's all drooling, and the drool's like tie-dye and stuff.
we were living in a college town, and I mean, where I was living at the time was
Good
a college
LSD.
house.
Good LSD.
I believe that.
Those Kim majors.
You definitely believed what was happening.
So yeah, that's why I didn't do the show last Friday.
Well, why didn't you just call me and say, "Yo, you a bitch," and I'm gonna tell you why? And I'd have been like, "Oh, okay. Well, let's hear what this is about." I'm a little confused.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
But
I
then
mean,
what would I have said?
I don't know, because you would have had to have said it, and I'm. I am Scorpio, yes sir, but I cannot actually read minds.
See, and I'm the Virgo. I'm like pouring water or something, and I'm thinking contemplatively. I'm like, was that in my head, or did that happen?
I don't know. But what I do know is no, it did not happen that way.
But I did spend the money that you gave me to get a pack of Cheyennes.
Yes, I believe so. It was either Toxic Berry or Cherry, because those were the two at the time.
I think I got 4 Locos.
Yes, I believe that's also something we did a lot of.
Good times. Good times, everyone. I recommend it to everyone.
Oh,
you,
sorry.
you still
Got a little lost in
kinda-
translation there.
Diddle-doo, diddle-doo, diddle-doo. All right, but improv jokes aside, let's get into some topical punch. Topical punch. So I got some science and technology stuff today. First of all, it would seem the Christiansburg drone delivery service is here to stay. Have you heard of this thing? I feel like I heard someone talk about it, but I've never seen any of them.
I've heard a little bit about it, but I've never seen it in action. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a little video here, courtesy of WWJ7.
Oh, and there's an ad playing.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Well,
Oh, look at these bougies. That's what those are. Those are.
It look like dogs.
No, they're
They
bougie, bougie,
look like
bougie,
dogs that look
bougies.
like cats.
Oh,
no.
look at that boy.
Nope. That's not a cat. That's a sick cat.
You're right. You're damn right. I gendered that dog. It was a masculine. It's a masculine dog.
Oh.
2,
Oh.
1.
Oh.
Look at that. So, is that a drone filming another drone? Is that droneception?
That's
It's droneception.
Huh.
They're British? Was that a British
That's what I was about to
accent?
say. It's either British or Australian, but
Christiansburg drones.
I think that's British though.
Could be Australian. This is cool though. Did that guy just get lunch or something? Was that what that was?
Looks like it's taking his trash away.
Oh, it's taking his trash away.
Okay, well, all right. Oh.
Wing, FedEx. Oh, library books. It seems very constructive. I remember the pharmacy I used to work for. We had a joke about doing a drone delivery service, but then there'd be like hillbilly pillheads out there like shooting skeet shooting them down. It's another bag of laxatives.
Marlin, boy.
All right. So that was some cool footage of it. I didn't really understand some of what was being said, but
some of it was a little unclear, but
October marks a milestone from when a drone delivery service launched in Christiansburg. Wings, I guess that's the company that does this. Wings trial would have ended by now, but after an announcement on Friday, we learned those delivery drones will keep on buzzing over the town.
interesting. Okay.
I like the way that was worded. That was kind of negative almost. It's almost
yeah.
like what we learned. They would keep buzzing over the buzzing's. It's
Like
a
a-
harsh
like
word. All right. All right, Jen
Got it.
Cardone, as I'll call you. That buzzing is an aggressive word to use.
Yes.
It's now been a whole year since the moment the first. Yeah, we got that. We are pleased as we can be about. We are as pleased as we can be about the first year of operating Christiansburg could have gone. Man, people word things strangely around here. Delivery drone service people's doorstep started small, but has exponentially grown. I've heard people talk about it. I haven't used it or I haven't seen it being used. But yeah. So acceleration after the pandemic started. Of course, these things.
And as long as the pandemic's going to just continue growing, so I mean they're going to have to come up with something.
At least till next spring is what's being projected. I would love to see Wing expand the service area, every single student, Blacksburg Middle School librarian. Okay, so that's probably that lady who was talking about school books. Pasek was a customer from the beginning, saw a need during the pandemic. On Friday, the company announced to be staying. We're really excited to continue to look. New ways to help our customers. Okay, so they're going to keep expanding. That's great. What do you think?
Well, that's pretty cool. I'm just curious. Does that mean that there's like a van sitting out there with a guy, and he's just like,
It's Cartman. Is that what you're saying? Cartman's.
well, I mean,
doing
come
that?
on. Who else is going to be sitting in a van
Yeah.
down by the river, controlling a flying machine to drop your shit off at your house?
We know it's not Mike Foley.
That's not Mike Foley. Rest in peace.
I wish it was.
That'd
I
be
wish-
funnier.
We just find out this whole time he's just been in a van by the river.
That would be something.
I wish. So I think it's good too. But yeah, of course there are like considerations of like, you know, how efficient has this been? You know, if there is like a big marketing push around here, they're not going to talk about any of the negative things that have happened with it, you know. wind up on people's roofs and stuff. Because I was just assuming it was AI piloting them. Like, it just goes to the location and then it like finds a good place to set down, and kind of like Uber, like you see on the map where it is and where it puts your stuff. But if you've ever driven for Uber, as I have, you know those little map markers are not very good.
No. However, though, the technology would exist. I mean, they could totally do radar, and what would make sense is to do a distance rather than, an address.
Sure.
Because,
sure,
I
yeah.
mean, if it's flying above, it potentially shouldn't hit a tree or something.
Yeah.
But it's flying above, they
should
should just be able to
read.
do a straight line to where it's going,
Right.
drop, come back.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll see more developments. We'll follow this story and see, what else comes from it. And my next bit of the next ingredient in today's topical punch, the SpaceX NASA launch. So they're teaming up.
Oh, yeah.
What to
here
know
we
ahead of
go,
Saturday's
SpaceX.
Crew Dragon astronaut mission. And so I guess it's launching tomorrow. No video. Let's see. So this is from CNN Business, and this is by Jackie Watts. We got 4 astronauts are slated to ride into orbit aboard a SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule this weekend, kicking off what NASA hopes will be years of SpaceX conducting routine trips to keep the International Space Station fully staffed. Okay, so this is for the ISS. It's great. 3 NASA astronauts. We got Michael Hopkins, Victor Glover, and Shannon Walker. Oh boy, those are some good all-American sounding names right there.
I'm telling you.
That's like, which one's played by Tom Hanks, you think? Probably Michael Hopkins.
Yeah, I'm thinking Michael Hopkins.
We'll be joined by Soichi Noguchi, an astronaut with Japan Space Agency JAXA on the trip. So that's good. More international cooperation. That's great. The Crew Dragon capsule placed atop a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket is expected to launch from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida on Saturday at 7:49 p.m. But that, of course, depends on the weather. Officials at Launch Control say the forecast still looks good for now.
And, of course, as we know, forecasters for weather are right about a third of the time.
Yeah, that's so true. This launch will follow the historic mission in May in which SpaceX's Crew Dragon first flew astronauts. I remember that. I remember I was so confused because there were like 5 different big SpaceX stories like that came out that week, and there was a lot of like confusion as to what exactly was happening. That marked the first time that astronauts went into orbit aboard a private spacecraft, and the first time astronauts launched to space from U.S. soil in nearly a decade.
Boom.
That trip, however, was still considered a demonstration mission and was flown by 2 veteran NASA astronauts and former military test pilots. I was about to say, there's been a good article up until you said "and" twice. That really threw me off right there. and goodness. People just trying to, you know what it is. There's such a big demand for just constant churning out this shit that people just
go and, well, the hell with the consequences.
I don't got time to go back and look at the squiggly lines.
If I had time to read it, I would have had time to edit it, wouldn't I?
Exactly. No, they got to keep pushing it out. I'll stop giving them a hard time. Everything went off without a hitch, but NASA did not officially certify Crew Dragon as a human-rated spacecraft, meaning it has officially been deemed safe to carry people into space until final reviews finish this week. Oh, okay. So that was weird that they phrase it like up until a week ago they were like, this ain't human safe, and then all of a sudden this week someone was probably paid off, and they're like, yeah, it's safe.
Oh, look, there's the Band-Aid I was looking for. It's good.
Yeah. Saturday's mission, dubbed Crew 1, will really kick things off. The 4 astronauts aren't all test pilots. They come from a variety of backgrounds, from academia to robotic engineering. Oh, man, I hope they put them through those tests, the spin you around and all that.
Yeah, the pressure tests and all that stuff.
Yeah, always makes me think of that oh shit, what was that dude's name? That movie though,
Rocket Man?
Rocket Man.
Yeah.
Always makes me think of that movie.
Eats all that the squeeze tubes.
Yeah, he paints
the
the fucking Sistine Chapel. That was such a good movie. What was that man's name? He's also in Half Baked. I watch his stand up. I don't know.
Brian in Half Baked. Oh man.
Yeah. Oh my god. And they're prepared to become full-time residents once on board the space station, where they'll conduct research as well as complete repairs and maintenance on the 20-year-old orbiting laboratory. 20 years that thing's been hanging up there.
Harland Williams. And he played Kenny Davis.
That's right.
In Half Baked.
That's right. Harlan. Yeah. He's funny. He's that guy in real life.
I believe that.
Like, I've seen podcasts with him, and he's not really doing an act. He's, oh yeah, you're going to space, I thought I'd really be going to space, but it was all on a set. I was like, now I know how Buzz Aldrin felt. And then everyone's just kind of like, was that a joke?
Or you're so believable. I
don't know. Are you? Is this a joke?
Are you 4? No, you can't be 4.
Comedy is, I went to Burning Man and I thought I was going to do comedy, but I just did a bunch of acid down there and don't tell anyone.
Oh, well.
Of
course not.
It's funny because he'll be on like podcasts and he'll be like talking about, like, he's a big Burning Man guy, and like he makes all these weird implications where it's like, look, I know you're doing drugs, but he's like, no, I don't do that stuff. I hang around a lot of people that do, and it's like, okay, all right. Like, no one's judging you here, man. I think he's still just from the 90s, just kind of like paranoid that something will get back to an agent or something. And he's just like, he doesn't.
No way, man.
No, I don't do that stuff. You ever do that stuff? Should I do it? It's just like, I don't know. Okay, so
I don't know you.
What is Crew Dragon? What is that, AC? What is Crew Dragon?
Crew Dragon. Isn't Crew Dragon the ship? The celestial ship?
Ah, it is. It is. It's a gumdrop-shaped capsule that's measured about 13 feet in diameter and is equipped with 7 seats and a touchscreen control. SpaceX spent a decade developing and testing the spacecraft, which should not be confused with SpaceX's experimental Mars rocket, Starship, or the company's cargo-only Dragon spacecraft, which has been flying loads of supplies to and from the space station for years. Yeah, so I think the cargo ship, if I'm not mistaken, like I don't even think there's any crew in there. Can't recall, but yeah, it just kind of does like a back and forth kind of thing. But look how small that is. Like when you think about, the rockets that NASA sends motherfuckers up, and maybe this will be connected to one of those.
I was about to say, isn't it usually the big rocket parts come off?
Yeah,
and then then the pod goes out there.
Right. So this thing, but still, even compared to those other pods, like it looks like
a lot smaller. Yeah, because you could see. Like the
scale,
yeah, like the ladder that you'd see at the airport. I mean, they're usually about the same size.
Yeah.
To scale, it does look relatively small.
Yeah, it's like
but it's
like
only
the
for
first
3
third.
passengers. Yeah.
Yeah. 7 seats. Did it say?
It has 7 seats in it.
Yeah, but I think it's only sending up 4 people this time.
4 people.
The three American and 1 Japanese. Crew Dragon and the astronauts will ride into orbit atop a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. Okay, so it'll have the Falcon 9 attached to it. And the astronauts will board the vehicle the day of launch using an aerial crew access arm. After the rocket fires the Crew Dragon into the upper atmosphere, the spacecraft will separate and fire up its own thrusters to begin maneuvering towards the space station. The Crew Dragon capsule is fully autonomous. So the astronauts will mostly just need to monitor the systems and keep in touch with mission control. unless something goes awry. So yeah, much like the cargo thing, it's just kind of on autopilot doing its own thing, and they just monitor it.
Oh, well.
The Crew 1 astronauts have named their Crew Dragon spacecraft Resilience in recognition of the global pandemic, economic hardships, and civil unrest that has made 2020 a particularly challenging year, according to Hopkins. So that's the Tom Hanks character.
Good old Hanks.
Yeah, just who I pictured. We feel like it is a connection with all of you, to everybody. We hope that it brings a smile to your face, and we hope that it provides something positive to your life, Hopkins said about the Resilience. Yeah, that's really sweet. Oh, here's a picture of them. I'm guessing that's Hopkins and that's Glover. If I had to guess, we have no idea. Does it say? No, don't want to do that. Just trying to
figure out.
Trying to open it up. Yeah. Oh, I thought maybe it would have the.
No, that would be convenient though, wouldn't it? What about the picture below it? You see where it says he was going to space. Sometimes these things.
I know they usually.
No. All right.
I'm guessing that's the pilot. That's if I had to guess. Glover. Hopkins is commander. This guy kind of has commander vibes too, though. Well, I guess we'll never. Does it say here, like. From left. Okay, from left. Victor Glover. Michael Hopkins. Switch. Well, that can't be right. From left. That can't be right. I mean, I don't want to presume, but I don't think that's Victor right there. Okay, no. Shannon Walker, Victor Glover, Michael Hopkins, Soichi Noguchi. So, yeah, I had it right. That's Glover. That's Hopkins. So, yeah, Glover's going to pilot. Went to Cal Poly. He spent 3,000 hours piloting more than 40 types of aircraft. Yeah, he's ready, man.
Oh, yeah.
Shannon is in charge of the onboard systems. So she's like more the academic type. Oh, and she's already logged a previous mission, one of the longest, 161 days, so like a third of a year. Hopkins was the commander. Noguchi is going to be the first astronaut from Japan's JAXA agency. He's been a long-time NASA ally. He grew up in Chigasaki, a small city near Yokohama. He watched the first space shuttle missions as a teenager on TV.
Oh.
And he's logged a total of 177 days in space. So, yeah, he's like the... Fascinating. So, why is this important? NASA's been anxiously awaiting for this mission for a decade.
Well,
it's safe to launch
really anything space-related is important. Considering we don't know anything about it, just like our own oceans, though.
Yeah, the deepest depths of our ocean. We have no idea what's down there. I think it's where the aliens are.
Well, we can't get that far down because it will crush our bones.
It's a convenient place to hide. So, yeah, is it safe to launch during the pandemic? I mean, I'd say these motherfuckers are some of the safest.
Well, yeah, because they're going to be a lot safer out there. Than down
I
here
mean, what are they
with
going to get up there? Like, you know, and yeah, they've been in strict quarantine previous to all this. I mean, you know, they got that shit. I'm more concerned about the fact that up until a week ago, that gumdrop wasn't, you know, deemed safe for humans, and then now all of a sudden they're like, oh, it's good.
It's okay.
It's good.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Look at this. Stretched out there. Okay.
He's got it safe. It's safe. That's airtight. That's
why I use the gum, because it creates like a seal, almost
what
like an epoxy.
brand of gum?
Hubba Bubba.
Of course, Hubba Bubba, the thickest, pastiest gum they got. Yeah, there you go. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine, everybody. So lastly, here it's apropos of nothing. WandaVision's been moved to January 15th. It was gonna be right after Mandalorian.
Now this is the series, right?
WandaVision, yes, and this is gonna set up the whole nother phase of Marvel. It's establishing supposedly Scarlet Witch is going to bring in mutants and might be the villain in Multiverse of Madness. So they may bring in the or at least some of the X-Men from that universe and bring them here, but also maybe not.
Yeah, because there's still a whole lot of speculation. I mean, there's always going to be that Wolverine thing, because everybody wants Hugh Jackman to still be the Wolverine, which don't get me wrong, he was a great Wolverine, but his time with the character, it's done. He's done. Yeah. He did it for almost 20 years.
Yeah. It would be insulting to that film Logan if they brought him back. If he just...
Now, with that being said, there is the talk of him doing a multiverse version of the Wolverine, but I think it's also supposed to have a time influence in it as well.
Sure. No.
But again, I mean, he said he's willing to do that as long as it's not, a continued.
Yeah.
If just one more.
Yeah, just one more, and like passing off to another multiverse version of Wolverine. That'd be nice. Like, here you go, kid. You look a little different, shorter. Hopefully, they get a shorty in there. He's supposed to be short.
I mean, he's what, 5'2", 5'3"?
Yeah, he's a little guy. Ferocious. That's part of the whole thing with Wolverine is like he's deadly and vicious, but he's little, like a Wolverine.
Yeah, I think that was part of the reason they called him Wolverine.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the whole, he's a...
He can smell and grunt and claw.
Wolverines don't have big old massive claws either.
Yeah.
They're almost like Tasmanian devils. They got claws, but they're not like...
Right. Yeah, I don't know, but it's disappointing. It's disappointing for them to push it again, especially knowing that it's in the can. Like, it's there.
And I mean, there's several actors that they've named that could play the character well, I think.
Oh, Wolverine?
Yeah. Like, I forget the guy's name. From the Kingsman. That kid.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I think we talked about this. I don't know about a Brit. But, we had was he an Aussie?
He's Brit.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a Brit.
Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman is an Aussie, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was just saying we've had an Aussie for a while.
Oh, yeah, I see.
You know what would be great if they brought him back, but not to play the Wolverine? Hugh Jackman would make a great Kraven the Hunter.
That is true. That would be cool.
Like, and it's a big mislead because everyone's like, oh, Hugh Jackman, they must, Wolverine, he's going to be in the new Spider-Man or whatever. And then you get in, and, like, they even have, like, a reference, like he's got, like, claws or something, but he's, like say he's got, like, 3 claws on his hand, and it's just, like, kind of attached to some pelt or something. He's like, I lost one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he's got the 3, and it's a big mislead. People would be mad, though. Like,
people, people would hit the ceiling. They'd be, especially Jackman fans. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm a Jackman fan. However, I think he deserves, step away.
Yeah, step away from Wolverine. Yeah, I mean, like, it's holy shit, Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh yeah. There's a whole big joke about that too. Him playing him.
I could see John Boyega. He's not short, but I mean, like, he's not as tall as this dude right here.
Yeah, Aquaman.
Yeah, Aquaman.
Oh,
like, that's too. See, they
Jason Momoa
going for these big dudes, and like, they don't gotta be.
Yeah, and I mean he's tall. He's massively tall.
Yeah. Who's John Barenthal? Who's that guy?
John Barenthal. Wasn't he the guy from The Walking
Oh,
Dead.
he's the Punisher. Yeah, no, don't make him Wolverine. They better keep that Netflix version of the Punisher because he was fucking amazing. Did you watch his series on Netflix?
I got to watch some of it. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. There's so much going on.
The only thing I didn't like about that was they made Micro a skinny guy. I was like, way to take another role away from obese actors, man. John Boyega and Scott Caan. Which one is that?
Scott Caan's got an N.
I could see this guy. He's a little too handsome. You want a guy who looks a little rougher.
Oh, they were also talking about Carl Urban.
Carl Urban?
Yeah, you remember Carl Urban. He was the guy who played Reaper in Doom. Valko in Chronicles of Riddick.
Say his name again?
Valko. Oh, Carl Urban?
Oh, Carl Urban. Yeah, Carl Urban.
Yeah, you'll recognize him. Judge Dredd.
That was who I was about to ask if he was. I could see this guy for sure. I mean, he's got the dark hair. He's got the... But he's 6'1", man.
Yeah.
Everyone got to be so tall. Stop making him tall, guys. Like 5'5", Scott Caan. Yeah, that's more like it. But he looks too clean. But I mean, Carl Urban, if you're looking for a Hugh Jackman kind of person, but also, I mean, like, he's 48. Like,
yeah, he'd be having to play the character till he's almost 70.
Like, that can't be much younger than...
But also, Carl Urban has been a character in Marvel already. Remember in Thor Ragnarok? He has the machine guns.
Oh yeah, he's like this is a Ray or something, or what was it? This is May or something like Disney or
this is Dis and Troy.
Yeah,
and
Dis
together
and Troy.
they destroy.
Yeah,
I got them from Texas.
Texas. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, just bring that guy back, man.
I mean, well, that character is supposed to have a much larger role, but
he's also New Zealand, so it's like they always look at two things when they cast these roles, and they don't really look at who represents who can do what they did in the comics. They're always like, oh, what else did they do? Oh, they did that successfully. Let's bring them in. Or who played it last? Let's get the one that's closest to the one that played it last. And it's like you don't have to do either of those things. You don't have to look at what else they did. Yeah, get a fresh person, especially if you're starting things over. Don't get the same type. But these are all just speculation. Who was it you told me was going to play Professor X? You told me someone good.
Oh, it was the guy from
Kingsman? Was it that guy?
No, Professor X. No, they wanted to cast Box Cutter. Oh, crap.
Oh, Gus Fring.
Yeah, Gus Fring.
Yeah, and I thought that was good. I thought that was really good. He could do the coldness of Professor X and the intensity, wow, I can't believe I can't remember his actual name. Giancarlo Esposito.
That's it.
Giancarlo Esposito. Yes. I remember because you sent me something and I was confused and I thought you meant Hector Salamanca.
The guy.
And I was like, I guess, yeah.
I mean, he's in a wheelchair.
He's in a wheelchair and he's bald. Like
the other one.
I love it. Giancarlo Esposito. He can do that really calm intensity that I think is good for Professor X. And the last guy, Jason McAvoy, he tried to do it, but it just was too. I don't know what to do. And it's like you're just doing a Patrick Stewart impression. I mean, I get that you're supposed to grow into Patrick Stewart, but this isn't working.
Isn't
working.
Now, I mean, I like that actor though, because I really liked his Split, and then his character throughout that franchise,
like in Glass and stuff.
Yes, I liked that. I thought that was awesome. But I think
this,
he was.
Remember, this ain't just any issue. This is an origin story. I
Oh,
can't remember.
yes. That was great.
They just called it out. Like, this is an origin story.
But I agree with you. The character, instead of really adding his own to it, he really was just trying to look and piece together how he could turn into
from
Patrick
that,
Stewart.
which was a good exercise. But it just, by the end, it was just like, okay, this is supposed to be 3 years before X1. It's not work. Like, just do your own thing, man. Just do your own thing.
Yeah, because, I mean, he had the whole hippie thing going on.
For a second, yeah.
And, you know, that was okay.
Interesting.
And that was working. And then he's in that wheelchair, and then it's so dramatically different, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. How did we go from here to there? And I think, honestly, that was probably more studio interference. Like, you got to start, you know, this is 3 years before X1, so you've got to really start. And it's like, no, you've already broken it. You don't have the same Emma Frost. You don't have the same, like, this. She's obviously not going to turn into Jean Grey in X1. That's just, like, none of this is lining up, you guys. Like,
yeah.
And then I love how they were trying to remake X3, you know, but they made all the same mistakes.
You're talking about Dark Phoenix?
Yeah. And it's like supposed to be 3 years before X1 or whatever. And it's just like, it's not lining up. And then they're like, well, you know, this is supposed to improve on the Phoenix timeline. And they did the same exact shit.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that what it was that lady, the bad guy, was originally going to be a Skrull, and they were going to bring all that in, but Captain Marvel came out, and that's why they did all those reshoots, because they're like, oh, well, we can't do the Skrull thing now, and we can't do, you know, and that was supposed to be what happened in space. They had something to do with the Phoenix Force, but instead they turned that antagonist into the Phoenix Force, and it was just like, let's go up to space. All right, let's go back to Earth.
Okay.
And then it was like, why'd you go up there? What
were you trying to accomplish? Like,
and that space shit would have made more sense. It would have made more sense with, like, oh, there's a Skrull thing going on, like they're trying to invade, and they have something to do with the what is it? Not the degenerates. What do they call them in Marvel? You know, there's the Eternals, and there's the bad guys that created the
Isn't
gene.
there a Runaways too?
Well, yeah, that fits into it, but the oh man, not the degenerates. Shit, what do they call them? But it starts with a D, and you had the Eternals, and you had the bad guys who were. But all of it's going to be revamped in the new Eternals movie. But they were trying to put some of that stuff in, because they're the reason why there are mutants. Before humans, there were two different kinds of Homo sapiens, and then there was a war, there was some mating or something, and that's one of them was Apocalypse, and they created the X gene, and it was a bunch of Eternal stuff. But there was the war between. Let's see. Deviants.
The
Deviants. That's what they were called. So they were like the original mutants, and they had something to do with the Eternals. There was like a big war, and the Deviants supposedly went away, but they left behind some DNA, you know, question mark. It's very much that weird early Marvel cosmic weird stuff that kind of has a little bit of ancient alien stuff. You know, you can tell that him and Jack Kirby were into that shit.
Aliens, man.
Yeah, but I love it, man. And this is the stuff I always loved in Marvel, was the more cosmic stuff. So I can't wait for them to do more of that. So, anyways, WandaVision, Eternals, Multiverse of Madness, creating mutants, all this is all supposed to like fit together. WandaVision is supposed to kick it off. It's supposed to happen in a few weeks, but instead it's going to happen
January
15th. Even though they have it in the can, they're just waiting. I don't know why.
Well, there's a lot of movies that they've gotten the can, and they're just waiting. Well,
Yeah.
like
The movies
Halloween
I
Kills.
Oh yeah.
It was supposed to come out this year on Halloween, but because it's limited theater time play or whatever's going on there, they're going to wait till next year.
Yeah. In the movies, I get because theaters, but the TV shows, I'm like,
Yeah, just release. I mean, you're going to release it anyway. You're not going to put that.
Everyone's going to be inside,
and more people have streaming platforms right now, so it makes sense just to have it out there.
Yeah.
Give content, and I mean that's a big thing that everybody's looking for now.
Yes,
it's content.
Yeah, it's streaming TV content. Yeah, it's weird. Let me see. Where did I get? Oh, that's right. So let's see why. Where are we at on time?
Looks like we're almost a minute out from our 50-minute mark.
Okay. Let me just figure out why. Increase
Why?
Services costs.
There it is.
Yeah, they're not really. Yeah, there isn't really a reason. So yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier got delayed apparently because one of the central plot lines was a disease that was going to be released and create a pandemic, and that was going to be the big thing they were trying to stop. I thought it would have been great. I mean, everyone started watching Contagion as soon as this whole thing happened, so I think it would have been of the times. You've always been good about that, Marvel, so they held that, and WandaVision got moved up. So yeah, it does. I'm not seeing any reasons why they did that, but they did. So
just aside from, well, we can.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? Reshoots. Who knows?
It could be a lot of different things.
Yeah, but c'est la vie, c'est la guerin. Anything to say?
Adios, partner.
Look at that camera. Tell where they can find you.
You can come find me, AC's Media Mash. I am the man, the myth, father.
And as always, you can check me out at Corey the Curator here on the YouTube.
Is it safe?
Yeah, I'm just gonna let that theme play out. I might just do this. Except it was killing my fucking arm.
Oh yeah.
And then I kept leaning, and then that made it hurt worse. And then I was trying to not lean. That was good, man. We went for 48 minutes so far. I'm just gonna let this theme play to the middle. Do you got time to record another one, or?
No, I don't. I mean, I can do another remote one tonight. If you want.
Hit me up, cause I also, even if we don't get it recorded tonight, I just want to figure out making sure that we can do it.
Oh yeah, okay. I can do that, and then if we don't get recorded tonight, I can definitely do it tomorrow.